everyone, and welcome to the Renew podcast. We are talking about how to reclaim your life without losing your edge, and our focus this month is on mindset. So I brought in a friend of mine, the amazing Erin Newman, who is a money mindset mentor and a, what do we call it? An authentic courage coach, which is cool. So I love this. So we're going to talk about today how to keep a positive mindset, because I don't know if you're feeling this, but 2020 has been a bit of a mess for a lot of us. So I brought in the pro to talk about mindset. So
awesome. Thanks, Kristen.
Thanks for being with
where
us.
should I be looking?
Just look wherever. Look at me.
Okay.
We can look
Perfect,
at me. So
perfect.
I want to talk through this really because you've got to be seeing this in your practice and in the companies, because I know you do a lot of talks with companies on positivity and mindset and just really having that abundance mentality.
Yeah. And kind of just to play off something we were just talking about even before we got on live. Kristen was saying it will be good. And I think a lot of us do that when we're thinking about, our money situation, or even just our situation in general, whatever's going on in your life, right? At this point in time, it's going to be good. When this happens for me, it'll be good. When I make X number of dollars, then it'll be good. Instead of saying it's good now.
And that's a bit, all right. So that's a challenge. It's definitely a challenge for me, because I have been, we're filming here on the East Coast. It's 9 on the East Coast. I've been up since 4. And it was one of those things where you just wake up and there was a lot going on.
Right.
And I think it's been that way for a lot of people. So I'm guilty of that for sure. Where I'm like, when this happens, it'll be better.
Then
or
I'm
when
allowed
this
to be
happens,
happy.
then I'm allowed to be happy. And
Right.
even if I'm a pretty happy person, but I've got to be holding something back, because I do get that in my head where I'm like, when this happens, it's not that it'll be good. I think things are good now, but it's like when this happens, it'll be better.
Right. Yeah. And I think what's really important is if you can actually catch the thought that is telling you that. So like when you wake up at 4 a.m. and you're feeling that anxiety, you're feeling that dread, which is normal. We all do that, right? Hopefully not every day, but
sometimes.
But it happens, right? If you can wake up at 4 and catch the actual thought that is causing that feeling of dread and anxiety in you, then you can shift the thought, right? Then you can change it to something else. Because it's usually something like, I'm never going to be successful again. I'm such a loser. And, the whole world is crumbling, and, everything that's going on in your personal life.
And it spirals. So is that normal? Because I can go from I'm having a bad day to life is over and I'm going to live on the streets for the rest of my life in about a millisecond.
Yep. It's totally normal.
Okay.
But what's cool is you can also create an upward spiral too.
All right. So how do we do that? Because that would be helpful for me. And I'm pretty sure people listening, that would be a big thing.
So it really is about catching that actual thought. I like to just journal it out. Like when I'm having one of those moments, it's like, okay, what's really going on here? What am I really afraid of? Is it that I'm going to be a bag lady? Is it that I'm going to never have another client again? And usually just the act of like writing it down, you can start looking at it and you're like, oh.
So you're writing down actually what you're thinking. Like, I'm worried that I'm not going to lose all my clients, or I'm worried that, okay.
Yeah. I think after you've done it a while, you can just start catching it, in the moment. You don't actually have to write it down, but it's really helpful to see it written down. Because if you saw something like, I'm going to be a bag lady and never have another client again, right? If you see that, you're like, oh.
You'd start to realize it's stupid.
Yeah, that's not true. Okay, I'm cool,
Yeah.
I'm going to have more clients. It's going to work out. Things are going to happen,
Right.
And really translating that into the now, I'm allowed to have them now. They're here for me now. Maybe they haven't shown up yet, right?
Okay.
Maybe they haven't called my phone and said, hey, I want to be a client yet, but they're out there. They're in your field already. They're in your environment already. They're probably listening to the podcast, right? Like they're there.
And this is and you and I've had this conversation before, because we both do coaching and speaking in different areas, because you do more mindset, I do more strategy. So, for us strategy folks, the mindset, I call it the woo-woo, it's tough. It's hard because you don't visualize it as much. I mean, I know you're supposed to, but for people with me, like me, with a strategy brain and is always thinking tactics,
right?
Like, how do we, for us, type it? Because I know some of the people I can see listening and things like that, we got some type A's out here for sure. How do we slow down enough to kind of say, okay, let me be realistic? Because I have a tendency maybe to overreact to things.
We all
occasionally.
do. We all do. Yeah. I think whether you're type A or type B or whatever, you can go in those doom spirals really fast. It's possibly a good thing to create some tactics for your mindset too.
Okay.
You know, here's the things I'm going to do every day.
I like that. I like tactics.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are some good tactics for
So I call
positivity?
We probably can't swear. I'll just call it journaling out the negative.
Okay.
You know, when you wake up like that and you're in that doom spiral,
Yep.
you know, take 5 minutes. You're already awake anyway. Take 5 minutes, go sit with your journal, write out the stuff that's going on in your head. And that's, again, that's probably already going to create that shift just because you saw it and you're like, okay, I'm not going to be a bag lady. You know, what are the real thoughts that are going through my head? And this is, honestly, it's the hardest part because nobody wants to see that really negative stuff. You know, we're taught to be positive. We're taught to really think positive. But if you are having negative stuff in your subconscious swimming around in there, it's going to hold you back.
That's true. I mean, it would have to.
Yeah.
Because you can, and I say this, what's funny is I say this to my kids all the time. I'm like, you know, positive self-talk. Right? And then I walk around going, dang it. But it's hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Like we can't, all right, so if we journal this down.
Journal it out.
Because I've done brain dumps before and tried to get stuff out of my head just to clear some space.
Yeah.
What do you do with it after it's on paper?
So what I personally do with it is tapping. I don't know if you've ever heard of tapping.
I have heard of tapping.
Yeah,
I don't know much about it, so tell us about it.
So it's a somatic way of releasing the stuff that's in your head, basically.
Okay.
So you're literally tapping on these acupressure points in your body, mostly your head, and really allowing that stuff to just get out. But you don't have to, I mean, you don't even have to go down that far. You could just take that.
Can I like wad it up and burn it? Piece of paper? Okay. I like that. Maybe that's
anything you want. Take that one big one. I'm going to be a bag lady. Everything's falling apart. I'm never going to have another client again, whatever that scenario is. Just take it, and I just really like to notice where it's sitting in my body. Like, is that in my stomach? Is it in my chest? Is it in my throat? And then you just ask it to release. Like, okay, I see you, this feeling.
Yep.
Just going to ask it to release now. And you just keep asking your body to release it because we're holding on to those tensions in our body. You know?
For sure. Well, and I get migraines. I'm a migraine person. So I'm for sure that's what a lot of it is just stress. And, you know, mine will say that in my, you know, I take meds for the migraines, but not that often. So my chiropractor, he's, you know, I'll walk in and he's famously, his diagnosis for me is always like, you're jacked. Like my neck is like, your neck is jacked. And I'm like, okay. So which he just means is stress. He goes, well, and he'll tease me. He's like, I know you're stressed because you hold it in your neck. You can see it.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you just need to get rid of the stress. I'm like, okay, hold please.
Oh, that's that easy. Yeah.
Right. And, but I think so many people are carrying things because if we really think about the symptoms a lot of us have, whether it's migraines or backaches or, you know, tension in your neck, things like that. Those are all stress things.
Right. Exactly.
So, all right, this journaling, what if we're in a position where we can't really write it down? Like, what are some things where if I'm driving in my car and stressing out? Actually, cars for me, I don't get stressed in the car. I'm like one of the people that actually love to just ride in the car. I can be sitting in traffic. There's not much traffic now since nobody's going in the office. But, I mean, if you're driving and you can't write things down, what are some ways to release these thoughts?
So this is the one place where I think there has to be a little bit of willpower, and the willpower comes in and not in from like a forcing you to not eat the cookie or to, you know, get up every day at 4 a.m. so you can work out or whatever, but willpower from the sense of I'm going to have to force myself to catch what's going on in my brain. Okay. You know, that has to happen in order for you to shift it, because otherwise, like you said, you just keep going into this spiral. Yep. So you just have to tell yourself, okay, I'm having this thought, whatever it is. Yep. You know, and people have a bunch of tools for this. You know, they put the rubber bands, I've heard the rubber band tool. Okay. So that's every time that you're having one of those thoughts, like, I'm going to be a bag lady, right? You can pull the rubber band. I've never done that personally. For me, it's just really noticing it. Oh, okay, Erin, here's what you're telling yourself thinking. Again. Okay. And then you choose just a slightly better thought, right? Like, so if it's, I'm going to be a bag lady and no clients are ever going to show up again, right? It's not advisable to try to skip yourself into, oh, I'm $1 million business owner, right? So
all right, but that's what, okay, I'm glad to hear you say that, because sometimes people are like, well, just envision yourself and, you know, making $1 gazillion. And that's a big leap for a lot of people.
It's a huge leap. And it's kind of what, so here's what I think about affirmations, which is kind of what we're talking about, right? Is yes, they can work, but they take a lot of time, and they take a lot of you coming up against your subconscious and trying to say, oh, I'm $1 million business owner. And you're like, your subconscious.
But I made $1.50 last week. Right. I mean, there's a big gap. Yeah.
So choosing just a slightly better thought of like, you know what, look, I got 3 clients right now. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Okay.
That's all I got to do. Like, that feels a lot better than, no, I'm $1 million business owner, right? Like, that's too huge for your mind to get to.
All right. So I think I like that because like I've done the affirmations and, you know, I've downloaded my secret apps. I'm reading all the good stuff.
And it's all good.
But sometimes there's a big, I mean, I do have a very good business. So I'm extremely thankful. Is it where I want it to be? Nope. But it's, you know, it's not a huge gap, but I like the step that just seems logical to me to be able to say, okay, here's the next. So you're just really just up leveling your thoughts. Yeah. Doesn't have to be to the highest level.
Doesn't have to be the highest level. And then you can start working towards the highest level, right? Okay. You know, I mean, I love visioning. I love scripting. I love bringing in that huge or next level for myself.
Well, that's the vision board thing. Yeah. Like I love vision boards. I do it at the beginning of the year. I have my kids do it. We do it like at New Year's. Fun. And everybody has their cool stuff on it. And I love that, you know, and that's where I'll think bigger. Sometimes they're just things that are a little up, but I love the thought process of maybe just next level your thoughts.
Next better thought. And, okay. And if we're talking like pure tactics strategies.
Yep.
What I love to do in the mornings is I do that if there's negative stuff going on in my head. If I did wake up at 4 a.m. with churning, right?
Right.
I do the negative stuff first, and then I do what I want to see in this world. So I bring in some of that visioning every day.
Okay.
You know, here's what I want to see. And
is it long range or short range or whatever?
Whatever.
Okay.
I mean, you could do both. You could do, like, for instance, mine this morning was kind of like, you know, I'm hitting this income goal. I'm stepping into more power with the divine every day. I'm being kinder, you know.
Okay.
So it's kind of a mixture of kind of those actual business goals and then, you know, personal goals.
But I think that's good because some days business stress me out and some days personal stress me out. I'll be the first one to say I have yet to have my positive mindset. It's personal stressing me out right now because I'm telling you what, Fulton County, if y'all are listening, y'all are driving me nuts because the school thing. I mean, I can't have a positive thought about the school thing and the virtual learning and because my poor children are going insane, and so is their mother. So I've yet to figure out how to next level of positive thoughts. I haven't had any yet.
What's the worst possible scenario with that? Like the kids
that I have a stroke. Yes. I mean, me stroking out is a very real possibility on any given day. So I would say the worst one is my youngest is just like, I'm out. She's already asked me when she can quit school. What age you have to be to quit school? She's 11. Right? So I don't know how much for it. So I guess next level thought would be her not quitting school till she's 12.
I would think it's something more like, we're doing what we can right now. I'm taking all the actions I can be taking right now.
That is true. Yes.
And we're just going to be with whatever's coming up.
That's true. I mean, I think that's easy. All right. So so my follow-up question with that is a good one. I can do that. Mm-hmm. How do you translate that to a child? Like, how do we?
So
because like I literally have had her say, just quit with your positive self-talk. Like it's that bad.
I mean,
does this
sometimes
work on kids?
We, the parents, are not the messenger.
I'm telling you what, I'm definitely not the best messenger with school.
So it's really just being present with her and asking her, like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's going through your head? What, you know, if this keeps playing out, what are you feeling?
Yeah.
You know, and getting her to name those, because her worst case, may not be yours.
Yeah.
You know, she might not have any concerns about dropping out of school. Right?
Oh, she'd love to drop out of school if it were legal. She would in a heartbeat do it. Her biggest concern is, I won't get to go on summer vacation. If she fails school and has to go to summer school.
Yeah.
That's her biggest, which, you know, at 11, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it's how to help, because I love the tactics, because I could definitely do that. But, you know, with kids, it's hard. Like, I think it is harder to do this. And not to get stuck on school, because, you know, I've been ranting about this. Anybody that follows me on Facebook knows this has been a hot button issue for about the past month. So
I think it comes back to the same way you approach your business, which is, are you taking the actions you're supposed to be taking? And by supposed to be, I don't mean some outside source told you, like, do 10 posts on Instagram today, but like you decided these are the things I'm going to do to move my business forward today.
Yeah.
You know, and same way with any situation. Am I doing the actions that I'm supposed to be doing? Whatever those are. I
like that. So, but you define that. And I say that to my clients all the time. I'm sure you do as well. Is your idea of success is yours. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks your life needs to look like or
Right.
anything. You know, and one of our friends, Dara, was posting that same thought on Instagram yesterday. It's like so many people's construct of what things should look like aren't theirs. It's somebody else's.
Right. And even their concept of what it takes to get there,
Yeah.
right, isn't yours. You know, who came
Right.
up with all these rules about endless
Yeah.
content, and who came up with all these rules about, you know,
Yeah.
60-hour work weeks? Like,
Yes, I don't like 60-hour
No,
work.
no.
No. And most of my most successful, you know, in their terms or anybody's terms, clients aren't working 60 hours for sure.
that is really surprising to me.
Of mine?
Yeah.
No, my most successful clients definitely do not work 60 hours.
Yeah.
No. Mm-mm. And success is defined differently. So some of my clients do define success monetarily for sure. So a lot of my 7-figure earners are not, they're not slave to the grindstone at all. I mean, they've kind of created their own reality. And, you know, I see women actually, just no offense, guys, women are better able to do that than men. They really define their own, at least the clients I work with, they define what success looks like to them. So a lot of my women that I work with that are moms, they don't want to work
Right.
that many
I never
hours.
have.
They don't want to
Yeah.
work 5-6 days a week.
Yeah.
They just, you know, they define it on their own terms.
Yeah.
But I guess that all goes back to mindset, because it really goes back to here's what this is going to look like for me.
And it's going to work, right?
For sure.
No
Yeah.
matter what I do. You
Yep.
know, I think that's a huge thing that I
Yeah.
always ask my clients to step into, is knowing that even if you're only working 20 hours a week,
Right.
it's still working,
Yeah,
right? It
for
still
sure.
grows your business. So you still get to be successful. Like, there's
Yep.
no rules around this.
Right.
You know, if you're doing the things that are going to move you forward, let go of the rest of
And
it.
I think we've all figured that in 2020, I will say one of the things that this slowdown or this pause for me, it's made me take a look at, okay, where am I spending my time? Am I being intentional about
Right.
it? I feel like a lot of us spend way more time on things than we need to.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
I use a quote all the time that the work you have to do expands or contracts to the time you have for it.
Totally.
And it's, you know, we can make it all fit. We really
Right,
can.
right.
But that's where I think my biggest distractor is the mindset, is the spiral. It's the waking up at 4 a.m. going, I've got the weight of the world on my shoulders. When in effect, I don't. I have a weight of an 11-year-old on my shoulders. That's about it. Which can seem a lot at times.
Yeah. And again, I mean, I think it's coming back to, am I doing the things I'm supposed to be doing right now that I'm
Yeah.
being asked to do, you know, by
Yeah.
however you define that, you know, source, universe, God,
Yep.
inner wisdom, whatever
Yeah.
you want to define that as. Am I doing those things that align with me? You know, am I spending time with her in the mornings to just have those conversations? Okay, that's all I got to do today, you know?
So I like that. It's just because I think everybody that's listening can do that, can just say, okay, what do I need for me to do today to move me to this next higher level, or
Right.
to move me forward,
Right.
or to maintain positivity?
And the way I do it with my clients is we actually get in the energy of that next level thing,
Okay.
whatever that is. Like, so for you with your 11-year-old, it would be everyone living in harmony in our house and
Yes.
feeling good
Oh,
about
gosh,
school,
that would be good.
right?
Yes.
So just really feeling that energy, and then asking, when you're in that space, when you're in that energy, okay, what are the actions I need to be doing to get there?
To get there.
You know, and we do it obviously for business, but you could do it for anything.
But that was supposed to say that would help with family, that would help
Yeah.
relationships, it would help friends, business, everything.
You're really, I mean, when people talk about quantum leaping, that's what they mean, is I'm going into the energy field of the thing that's already here, right? Because on
Right.
some quantum level, it already exists.
Right.
So let's bring it here.
See, that's the woo-woo stuff. We
Sorry.
know it's there. We know it's there, but it makes so much sense. Like, and I joke, and I don't mean it like derog. People are like, you're so mean. I'm like, it's really not derogatory,
Don't
because I
worry.
totally believe that. Like, I totally believe that. It's just so foreign
Yeah.
to a brain that's
Well,
a
just think of it as a
strategy.
tactic. Think of
That's
it as
saying,
a
once you
tactic.
said tactic, I'm like, I can do a tactic. I'm
Yeah.
on tactics.
Think of it as a tactic.
We're
I'm
gonna
doing an energy tactic, right?
We are doing mindset and energy tactics.
There we go.
This is a strat.
When
Okay.
I wake up in the mornings, I'm going to do this mindset tactic, and it consists of me just thinking about, okay, how would this look?
Right.
And not from like a, you know, minutia level, but how
Yeah.
would this feel if we're already at that space where everyone's happy and
Right.
everyone's content with school? And
And
then sometimes you'll get sort of just like this information of like, okay, you need to do X and Y and Z,
Right.
you know, whatever that is. And sometimes you won't. Sometimes you'll just be in that energy field, and then it just feels better.
Well, all right. So what about, I agree with you completely. And I think that's, you know, when you're doing the personal and the family thing, what about, because I'm looking at some of the comments, some of the people we have listening, a lot of these folks are business owners.
Okay.
And I know a couple of the people listening had drastic upheavals in their business this year. You know, we've got restaurants which had to close for months and lost employees and significant revenue. We've got financial folks that have been doing this, you know, with the markets. So when there's so many things that are out of your control, like 2020, like COVID, for sure, because it was out of our control. They, you know, our restaurant owner friends were not able to say, we're going to stay open. We're going to will us open. So when the unforeseen happens that truly is not controllable, what are your options there to maintain kind of that positive mindset?
You only get to control your thoughts, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Only ever. I mean, like you said, none of us brought COVID here.
Right.
You know, nobody mindseted this here.
Yeah.
Right. So
all you're in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah. So we only get to control our thoughts ever, you know, and our reactions to things. We don't get to control the other person. We don't get to control the 11-year-old.
We like to think we can.
Right.
And I think that's what gets us in trouble, because I think historically I've wanted to control way more than I actually have control over.
We all do. Yeah.
So we can't control we can control the controllables.
We control our own thoughts, and we control our own actions too. So I'm the restaurant owner, and I'm picturing, okay, what is it that I do want? Maybe there's a different dream that's coming up for me now. You know, maybe I'm picturing, I don't know, maybe I'm going to go do social media work now. Or, you know, what's coming up for me in my dream, and I just keep picturing that, visioning that, stepping into that, and then again, what actions am I supposed to be taking? That's it. That's all I get to worry about.
So it's what am I thinking? What can control my thinking and control the actions I can take?
Right.
Yeah.
And we never get to be in control of the outcomes of those things, right? Like you and I know this.
I say that to people all the time. You got to let go of the outcome. We just need to do. I just need you to do the activity.
Exactly.
Let go of the outcome.
Like every great salesperson out there knows that, right? Like I can't push somebody into a sale. I can't convince you of a sale. I'm just gonna, hey, this is what it is, and then let go of that outcome. And so we have to do the same thing, you know, for the restaurant owner or whatever. Like, I'm going to take my action and let go of the outcome. I'm going to go apply for my PPP loan. I'm going to go do what I can do today. Keep visioning what I do want to see. And let go of that outcome.
And then that's where I feel like the journaling that will come in, because things pop back up. The scary stuff pop back up because it's tough. You know, all the time. It definitely has been, you know, I'll say this year was, it was, there were some times where it was like, man, this sucks. I mean, you don't know, with myself, clients, everybody, there were times where you just didn't know if it was going to work out. You knew it, I guess in the back of your mind, you knew it would, you know, same thing, let go of the outcome. It'll work out. Don't know how, but it's sometimes hard to kind of get back there. I saw that with so many of my friends this year, business owner friends mostly.
Yeah. I mean,
and it's a different, I guess the tactic's not different, but I feel like the mindset is different. You know, I saw a drastic, I guess, I don't want to say change, but I have a group of friends that are corporate executives, and I have a large group of friends and clients that are entrepreneurs and own their own businesses. The difference in their mentality and mindset during this past year, it's almost night and day, because, and it's not blaming it, but I think it was hard for the people that are corporate executives who are getting a paycheck. They didn't really have a whole lot of difference in their life other than I got to work from home. And schooling and the virtual stuff. But the entrepreneurs kind of had some extra stuff on it. You know, their business closed. So it was harder because I felt like they were getting hit with way more stuff. And uncontrollable
I would say
stuff.
That's also just a thought that we get to shift, right? Like because I know plenty of entrepreneurs that didn't take a hit, right? Whose businesses kept thriving.
I definitely know some for sure.
And
for
so
sure.
We get to shift our beliefs around what this is doing to us, you know, the heaviness of
I think that's the opportunity. It's the heaviness of, because that's a good word, because I think a lot of times this year things have just felt heavy. For sure for me. I don't know if anybody listening is feeling the same thing.
I mean, of course we do. You know, we're energetic beings. I mean, getting a little woo-woo here, but just in general, we can all tell, like, it's been a little heavier, right? So the work is still the same. Our mindset work is still the same. I mean, there was problems before COVID, right? We had clients that didn't show up. We had people that didn't pay, right? We had problems before COVID. So the work of looking at your thoughts is still the same. And so even that thought of like, oh, COVID really sucks. It's gotten much heavier. People aren't, you know, their businesses are falling apart, right? All those are things that we can say, you know what? That's just a thought. I can choose a different thought now. I can
so what do they think? Because Amy just said letting go of the outcome is so hard, both in your personal and your business life.
Totally.
I completely agree.
Yeah, it's a practice.
That's what I'm saying, because I don't think I don't feel like I'm going to leave here tomorrow and go, okay, good to go. So what can we practice to do that? Because I say let go of the outcome all the time too. It's not easy. I can say it to clients much easier than I can do it for myself. Right. So, like Amy or myself or whoever's listening, it's hard to let go of the outcome.
It is. And it's literally something you just have to kind of tell yourself is I did the thing I'm being asked to do today.
So that's we need to focus on the activity and the move we're making.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the thoughts.
Okay. I'm still stuck on the tactic. Okay.
Yeah. But it's always about just practicing those tools, practicing those techniques and not, and even there, not attaching anything to the tool or the technique itself either. You know what I mean? These are all designed to move you to that next level of expansiveness, of happiness, of growth, right? But no tool or technique or tactic is the one thing.
No, there's always a combination, I think,
and whatever works for you, right? So it's not about like even getting attached to, you have to do what Erin said or what Kristen said, right? It's just, how do I step into that next level for myself in a way that feels really good and aligned, and letting go of the outcome. I do
like the next level, and I think it's what we said. Amy said, knows in your head what to do. Focus on doing it is what the challenge is, which is true, because that's when the negative thoughts start creeping back in. And I feel like Amy, we need a support club here. I feel like this is, it's easier said than done. And it does take practice. Like I said, I'm good at strategy. I'm good at figuring that out. And I'm good at pivoting when, that was the cool thing in my business was a lot of my clients had to completely shift what they do and shift their offerings and everything during this year because the market dictated that.
Right.
That part I get. It's the, I feel like that's easier, but it's the visioning like, okay, well then here's here's next level. So I like your thought of what's the next best, the next higher thought.
Yeah. Next best thought's great too. Yeah. I mean, this is a process, right? Yeah. Like if we could all just snap our fingers.
That's what I feel like. That's what the difference is like, I want it to be a snap our finger thing. I just snapped. How about that? My children, all right, so it's a running joke. I don't know how to snap. And actually, I heard a sound come out when I tried to snap. I don't know if you guys heard it, but it came out. I can't snap and I can't whistle. But anyway.
Whistling's hard.
So I feel like if we could snap our fingers, and that's what we're all expecting.
So think of
I'm
it
like, snap my finger and things I feel better.
Your workout routine, right? Like you're not expecting that you snap your fingers and tomorrow, you're super buff.
I am absolutely expecting that, and that seems to be the problem with my expectations around working out. But yes,
it really is like working out. I was thinking about this actually this morning when I was working out. Was I don't show up for my workouts thinking like, oh, I'm gonna have this super buff body tomorrow, right? I show up for my workout because it feels good and because I know it's gonna improve my day, and I do the same thing for my mindset.
That's all right. That's a really good analogy, because none of us would expect those people that work out. Probably not the best example here, but the people that work out, you're right. We're not walking into the gym day one and going, all right, walking out tomorrow. But I think for me, I expect that of my mindset. I need to just turn on the thoughts and be able to
the cool
only positive from here on.
Yeah. So two things I want to say there. One is we are never looking for only positive, because that's what gets us into trouble, actually.
I agree with that, yeah.
Because then we stuff down and repress all the stuff, and that's what leads to, alcoholism, drugs, and the busyness stuff that goes on in our society, right? So we're not looking to be positive all the time. Yeah. That's going to...
You got to feel the feels,
for sure. Yeah, you got to feel the feels. It's a huge part of it. And then the other piece with the working out mindset analogy is... think of it like a workout. Think of it like, okay, I'm going to take these tactics, whatever I create for myself, there's a million books out there, or you could just kind of sit down and do some of the journaling we were talking about. I'm going to take these tactics and just think of them like a workout. I'm going to do this every day.
Right.
And it will change you even that morning, right? You're going to come back even that morning and be like, oh, I feel much better. I spent 20 minutes meditating, journaling, whatever, and I already feel better. And I'm already able to like have those conversations with my 11-year-old or with Fulton County or with whomever. And you come from a different place, right? And things shift right away.
Yeah. And I think it is a practice, and it's getting into it and doing it habitually.
Yes.
Because I feel like that's where, at least for me, one of my friends, Jason's really into meditation, and he does it all the time, and it's made a huge difference. And I've tried it, I've dabbled.
Yeah.
I've done deep work. I've done a lot of the deep self stuff. I've done a lot of therapy. I've done the deep stuff, but it's the little day-to-day, just little thoughts. That's where I have more of a challenge. I feel like I've done all the deep therapy
Healing,
stuff, but it's those little ones that bubble up. Now, Chantel just said accountability partners, and I think that's an interesting thing, because I do feel like that would be, I would assume most of us are having this problem.
Yeah.
So to have a partner, somebody that you could say, hey, I mean, how could we get other people helping us with this?
Yeah. I mean, I think you just want to make really sure with that accountability partner that they're really on the same page with not letting it become we can't swear, right?
You can say bitch session.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we can.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm looking
not,
over Ingrid. Can we say that? I don't know.
You gotta make sure it's not
it's
just
fine.
the two of you guys complaining about your husbands the whole time, right? Like that they offer up a thought and you're able to say, okay, well, how about we choose a different thought here?
Okay.
What can we come to around this thought?
Yeah.
So
because pity loves the party. So like you'll
totally
complain to your friend, or you're like, this is going on, and they're like, well, this is going on. Well, I got this, and then it becomes a whose life is worse type of thing.
Right.
And I had one of those calls this morning. So I like that though. I like the idea of, all right, how can we choose a better thought? So that's what we would need in an accountability partner. It's like, all right, let's redirect this.
Or maybe Chantel meant somebody that's going to say, hey, did you meditate this morning? Hey, did you do your mindset this
morning? Could be, yeah.
Yeah. That could be great too. But if you guys were really able to bounce around some of those thoughts, that could be a really fun person.
I like that idea.
Frankly, I mean, I think that's why we have coaches. That's why I'm a coach. That's why,
Yep.
I would say probably, I don't know what
I get into, we get into a little mindset with mine, but it's usually me just pushing them. Like I said, it's, and I've said this on the show before, I'm a strategy accountability girl. And it's, if somebody comes to me and they need all mindset, I'm sending them to you. They're not, it's not my area of expertise. Like, you want to scale a business or market or make more revenue, I'm all over it. But but this has to come first. I truly believe this has to come first, because I've definitely had people come to me that want to scale their business and make more money or have more free time or more leisure time in their life personally, and they're not ready to do the work.
Yeah.
So I have to send them to get mindset or therapy before they get to me, because I can't affect them from a strategy standpoint if the head's not there.
Well, it's kind of, I think of it, because I talk about strategies with my clients too. Of course, they're business owners, right? And they'll ask me, they're like, Erin, can you just tell me what you think? I'm like, what do you think? What's going to move you forward? Because I can tell you what I think all day long, but what are the strategies going to move you personally forward, and that you're going to actually do? Again.
Well, and that's a big thing, because even when we get into strategy work with businesses, I am always pushing them to find the energy. I'm like, what's giving you excitement? I'm like, I can tell you 50 things that'll work. I don't know which one's going to work for you. We've got to figure out what fits your style, what fits your personality, where you're finding energy. Because the last thing I want for any of my coaching clients is to be miserable in the work they're doing. I mean, that's no fun for anybody.
Right.
So we've got to find kind of what's bringing them joy. And, my quote I use a lot is, if it's not bringing you joy or moving you closer to your goals, it needs to go.
Right.
So it's, the thoughts there, it's just, it's the thoughts that they have when they're not with me. I can control it in the hour they're talking with me, but it's just it's those middle of the night thoughts. I really feel like, maybe you guys listening, maybe I'm off, but I feel like it's the middle of the night.
Yeah, it's the 4 a.m.
thoughts. It's the 4 a.m. thoughts that really are screwing us up a little bit.
That's why we call it the wake up in the morning problem, right? Because it's
you should launch a 4 a.m. coaching group call. I think there's your new business idea right there.
I will tell you guys, I rarely wake up at 4 a.m. with those thoughts anymore.
See, all right, so this works.
Rarely do.
I think that's the thing, is this definitely works.
Yeah, because I sit down and write them all out in the mornings,
So all right, so as we wrap up, what is writing them down is one for sure. So give us 3 things that we all need to start doing
right now. Okay, here's our tactics.
Okay.
Mindset tactics.
Catch
the thought.
Okay.
When you are waking up at 4 a.m., when you're waking up in the middle of the night, when you're waking up driving your car, whatever, hopefully you're not asleep, but
Yeah.
catch the actual thought
That's
creating that feeling, because you'll feel the feeling first. You'll feel that like feeling, right?
Yep.
Like I'm not doing something right or whatever, or just that it could be anger, it could be sadness, whatever's coming up. Catch the thought that's leading there.
Okay.
The thought always precedes the feeling. So
Okay.
catch the thought first.
Okay.
Really get them out. If you can, ask your body to release them.
Okay.
You know, I love all sorts of somatic work. So that could be dance, that could be running, that could be just going.
Dance the thought away. I like this. All right.
Gosh, we're getting really crazy.
I like it.
Ask your body to release it. Try to release the thought, and then bring in what you do want to see. That's step 3.
Okay.
What do I want to see? And if you're doing
I
this in
think
the
that's a big
car,
one.
that's the next better thought.
Yeah.
If you're doing this in your morning practice, then that's some actual visioning time, right?
Okay.
That's the space for sort of either a written or kind of a mental vision board. I actually have this little manifesting movie that it's like a minute long. I just hit play and I'll watch that sometimes, do some meditation.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
You know, again, it's not about the tool. It's just about bringing in that energy of the next level. So
Okay.
the third step is, what do I want to see? And even if that's just
like
a
that.
small shift. So if for, you know, like with you when you're 11-year-old, it's how would this feel if this was just really flowing, you know,
Yeah.
if she wasn't waking up like that, what's the opposite of that? Like,
Okay.
if we were just having these, you know, really nice breakfast together or whatever.
I think that's a big, all right. So catch the thought, ask your body to release it, and bring in what you do want to see.
Bring in
So
what
that
you
next
do wanna
better
see.
thing. I love that. All right. That seems doable. I feel like I can do
There
this.
you go.
I
There you
feel
go.
like I
There's
can
your
do
tactics.
this. All right. These are our tactics.
Yep.
I love it. All right. So I'm going to jot those down. I did jot them down, but I'm going to write them in the notes. So you guys taking notes and following along have them. So I appreciate this. This is good.
Good.
We're going to work on this. I assure you I will not call you at 4 a.m. because we're going to try to sleep through the 4 a.m. thing.
Please do.
So thank you so much,
Yeah.
Miss Erin Newman, for being with us. I'll put a link to Erin's page in the comments below so you guys can see it and connect with her. So if you're needing some help on the mindset or anything else in your business, she's really good with manifesting money too, which I know we all like. So thank you guys very much for tuning in today, and we will be back again next Tuesday with another episode of Renew, where we are wrapping up our month talking about mindset. So make it a great week. Have those positive thoughts and let go of the negative ones. Use that next best thought. So we will see you next week, but make it a great week.
Bye, everyone.